Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I am behind schedule because I had to take my truck to the dealership and I had to go get my son from baseball. It got my schedule all out of whack. So here we go. I'm going to talk about what some of these chart people are thinking in the group. That's DAIXRP.com or the Patreon. You can click the join button below any of these YouTube videos to join. Caleb and Brown put out a market update.
All of this happened in crypto this week. Geopolitical tensions rattled markets as Israel and Iran traded strikes, sending risk assets lower and spiking oil prices. Bitcoin saw nearly $450 million in liquidations. Still, BTC held above 105,000 US dollars, and inflows into digital asset funds topped $1.9 billion. In Washington, crypto policy gained ground. The Genius Act heads to a Senate vote tomorrow, whilst the Clarity Act passed committee and moves to the House floor. And crypto veteran Jamie Selway was appointed SEC Director of Trading and Markets. In corporate news, the Bitcoin Treasury race continues, with GameStop, Metaplanet, and others expanding their holdings, while Ethereum saw its largest buyer yet. SharpLink Gaming snapped up $462 million worth of ETH, making it the single largest public holder of Ethereum. Meanwhile, JP Morgan filed a trademark for a new crypto platform, JPMD, offering exchange, trading, and payment services. And finally, XRP made headlines. Canada approved the first spot XRP ETF, set to begin trading this week, just as Singapore's Trident announced plans to build a $500 million XRP treasury. Read about all of this and more.
All right, there you have it. Now, I saw this and I wanted to remind everybody, this is another exploit. Liquid staking protocol. Metapool suffers $27 million exploit. Attacker minted 27 million in tokens, but was the only able to swap approximately 25K due to low liquidity on Uniswap. I want to just tell everybody, staking, yeah, we all want staking for our XRP, but there are risks that come with all this, folks. Make sure you understand what they are before you do it. I personally am not focused on staking anything, because I'm not comfortable with it yet with my XRP. What I'm focused on is what I keep telling you. That's putting it somewhere where it's safe. I've got it in the institutional custody at Caleb and Brown. You can too. If you go to XRP Wealth 589, it's my XRPWealth589.com will forward you straight to my affiliate partner page on Caleb and Brown. You can click sign up today. If you're tired of worrying and not sleeping well, worrying about whether your XRP is going to be safe. The market's pulled back a little bit, but I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on all that's in front of us. IPOs are the hot trade right now. Here's the outlook for the second half. This is from CNBC. You're about to see crypto IPOs get real hot. And I think a lot of other IPOs will too. But here's the important thing today, folks. 4:30 today, just about 2 hours from now. Bipartisan Genius Act is set to pass the Senate today, a major step for U.S. payments, but it's not done until it's on the president's desk. Digital Chamber stablecoin report shows why this cements dollar dominance. The future is programmable money. Keep pushing. Passing the Senate is the most important because that's the hardest hurdle. The House and the president's desk, those, from what I understand, are not going to be a problem. Here's the Treasury Secretary. Recent reporting projects stablecoins could grow into a $3.7 trillion market by the end of the decade. That scenario becomes more likely with the passage of the Genius Act. Thriving stablecoin ecosystem will drive demand from private sector for U.S. treasuries, which back stablecoins. This newfound demand could lower government borrowing costs and help rein in the national debt. It could also on-ramp millions of new users across the globe to the dollar-based digital asset economy. Remember, the petrodollar made it oil-based US dollar economy. This is replacing the petrodollar. And what do you build stable coins on? And then here, this is from Eleanor Territz. She's at Crypto in America now. This is the Coinbase CLO weighing in on stable coin legislation.
Framework when evaluating legal risks in this industry, just like they can in any other, and make their choices accordingly. So I'm hopeful we're going to see it all come together this year.
I also want to ask you about stablecoins. You brought that up, and that's an extremely popular sector right now, but also a very talked about one on the policy side. When it comes to stablecoins, both onshore and offshore, and the recent Circle IPO and everything else in between, how do you see that as an implication within the U.S. market, and what are you keeping an eye on that's important to you?
Well, there's certainly a lot of excitement right now about stablecoins, and you've highlighted, I think, two recent examples of that, Circle IPO, and frankly, just the progress on the bill in the Senate as proof that if people are still asking themselves, what is the breakout use case for crypto? Well, I think we've seen it. Maybe Bitcoin is digital gold is the other competing example. But I think the thing about stablecoins that makes them so exciting and important, frankly, is they solve a real problem in our current financial system, which is it costs too damn much to move value from point A to point B. And that's as true for large institutions as it is for the regular retail customer or consumer. So I think we are going to see continued interest in stablecoins going forward. I think legislation will help accelerate adoption. And then, we can get on with the business of competing for the best solution for real consumers and real institutions. My personal view is that we will see with legislation, especially, many more participants in this market, people rushing in to offer their own stable coins or partner with existing stable coins to offer new products and services. And from Coinbase's perspective, as well as Paul's perspective, like you prefer to myself in the third person, I think that's a good thing.
Okay, now I wanted to point out here, this is one of those gold channels, and I think that the gold people have gotten it wrong, folks. I don't think they saw it coming. Stable coins are going to strengthen the US dollar, and so all the gold people for all these years have been talking about the dollar decline, and the dollar is gonna lose its status as the world reserve currency. I used to think that too, but the picture is coming clear. It's very clear now. But the U.S., that's why I keep telling you, governments created this stuff in order to save the U.S. dollar. This is what the gold people are saying. They just don't understand what's happening.
If they do restart QE, obviously that would suppress the long end. And I'm comfortable with that. What I mean by being comfortable is I'm positioned for it. And what I mean by that is that I do not want to play the yield curve. I don't think that you're going to make any money by expecting a blowout in bond markets. It's a very dangerous position to be in, being short duration. Instead, you should expect currency decline. Because if they do start printing and suppressing the long end, currency is going to decline. So no matter what they do, whether they're fiscally prudent, as I think they've actually started to be, whether they print money and they're imprudent, no matter what American policymakers effectively do, the US dollar is likely to go down 25 to 50% over the next 5 years. Now, that might sound nebulous to you. Like, what do you do with that information? Well, you should probably book your European vacation right now. Right now. But other than that, what I would say is that large currency moves lead to flows. And so if you start seeing the euro or emerging market currencies appreciate, that will attract flows into those countries. So you need to start diversifying your portfolio out of the US. And most people listening to this are probably 90% overweight US assets. You need to let your hair down and spend some of the money you made in Magnificent Seven, take it, and go shopping outside of the US with equities, with bonds, currencies. Just expose your portfolio.
So I think they got it wrong. I said they could pass the Genius Act at 4:30 today and have companies like Amazon and Walmart issuing stablecoins and buying U.S. treasuries to prevent this. Just a thought. I think 360 Trader has it right. Today the Senate will vote on the Genius Act, probably the most significant economic flip for the United States in defining the future of money and backing the U.S. dollar, and yet the average person doesn't know what a stablecoin is and has never heard of it. We are the 6%. I would call us the 1%. Smoke, look at Smoke. You know, Ripple, he says the Genius Act aligning with Ripple's settlement with the SEC could accelerate XRP's integration into the U.S. markets. It does really feel like the whole SEC Ripple thing and the Genius Act and the legislation is being coordinated, setting Ripple free simultaneously with legislation. It sure feels that way, folks. This is Lark Davis. Is this crypto cycle different? I think it's clear that it is. Let's see what he says.
Decode. This time is not different. The expectation just to risen. The real move has not even started. Think about this. Here's an interesting one. Now, if that move starts in, let's say, 2 or 3 months, let's say the end of summer, for the macro trend, right? Then look at the previous times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we had these sort of 8 to 10 month moves in risk assets. This is about Bitcoin, right? But we had 8 to 10 month moves in risk assets after we flipped green. So if that's the case, again, this adds more fuel to the fire for the 2026 narrative or even longer.
Oh, I think this thing's going to be 2025, 2026. Okay, I got a lot more. I'm gonna cover it in the group. Go to DAI XRP to join the Patreon or click the join button below any of these YouTube videos. You get the extended video and you get no commercials in there as well. We're going to show some chart guys and some other stuff. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Away we go.